Oh, hey, it's John, and I'm here on That 70s Card Show, here to talk about something that just showed up on my doorstep last week. John Keating, That 70s Card Show. I've been the lucky recipient of the participation in something called the traveling box. And the traveling box, you say, is a box that has been making its way around the country. Started by Mr. Fisher Bike over there on YouTube, and he was kind enough to let me participate. I feel like I'm the ghost runner. I'm the guy in the 10th inning they send out there to second base in a clean uniform, and the guy who knocks him in, they remember his name, but they won't remember the ghost runner's name. I think I'm number 18 out of 19 folks on this. But I'm really appreciative to have been included. I mentioned something last year, and Jason just threw my name in there, and then out of the blue asked me, "Hey, what's your address? We're starting the box up." So here we are, 2024, new box, and the same old rules. The rules are: you get the box, you take out what you want. If you want everything, you can take it out, but you have to replace. Uh, you have to replace in quality, quantity, and value, mostly quality and value, I guess, with what you took out. So if you feel like you took out $100 worth of cards, you put $100, if not more, in there. And it's not limited to cards. There's a lot of really cool stuff in that box. There was some just a lot of offbeat, oddball stuff. There's autos and patches and numbered cards and coins and just a lot of really fun stuff, oddball stuff you don't see everywhere. So again, right up my alley. It's like a card show came to my front door and made its way into my house, and I got to pick through it and send it off on its merry way. So, yep, showed up last night late from a long drive back from Blacksburg, Virginia. Congratulations to my son for his degree in civil engineering. And then opened up the box that was waiting for me on the table that our dog sitter so kindly brought in from the elements and started picking through it. Then my oldest son said, "Hey, Dad, I got to go to the train station." So took him to the train station. Turns out the trains run on a weekend schedule. So 2 hours later, I was back at my house after dropping my son off in Philadelphia. So got to look through every single card last night and this morning. I got about halfway through last night. This morning, I got up early, went through the box, picked out the stuff I wanted, brought the box down to the basement. I was reticent to bring the box down to the basement because, as I say, most things that come down to the basement and never leave this basement. Anyway, picked out some stuff, and I tell you, man, I have some friends that I buy or accumulate stuff for as racks, random acts of Keatings. And it's tough to get people with focused collections stuff, but it's really, really tough to get somebody that maybe you don't know quite how they collect or what their collection consists of. You're trying to pack away stuff in that box that they might find appealing and introduce to their own collection. So that's difficult. I know that because, well, first of all, I'm probably the worst person to shop for because I do collect everything. If you had a more focused collection, it's probably a lot easier, but still difficult nonetheless. So here we are opening the box. Again, I went through every card, and there was boxing in there, and MMA, and there was hockey, and there was basketball, and football, and baseball, and other stuff, and chrome cards, and numbered cards, like I said, and relics, and everything possible from um, the junk wax era, a lot of stuff in there, a lot of stuff from the 80s, some stuff from the 70s, a couple things from the 50s that may or may not be in there anymore. But anyway, a lot of fun to look at. I'm a big fan. I don't want to say student, but maybe I am a student, but I am a big admirer of cards throughout their various iterations. And it's neat to see even the shiny stuff. It's neat to see what has been pulled off over the years. Anyway, yeah, so the box shipped off today to its final destination. I think it's the 19th and final stop from where it all started out from. So it really is wonderful again to participate in a group project in the hobby. A couple of the folks I have met, whether it's at the national or other shows, but most of the folks that were participating in this, I have not met. I know them or know of them, but we have not met in person. So admirers of all I am from afar, I guess. Hope to meet each and every one of them someday. And kudos to everybody who filled that box. Wonderful job. It must have been. Hopefully, it was as fun opening and repacking as it was for me because I had a ball doing it. So we can get to it, I guess. I'm going to manipulate my cameras here, see what's going on, and get rid of that right there. Apparently, I done. Hold on a second here. Bam, bam. Look at me work my magic. There we go. All right, so let's start out with the 1991 Classic 1 T3 Ken Griffey Jr. Now, I have a lot of Ken Griffey cards. There was a lot of Ken Griffey cards in that box, and I'm going to kind of follow along because I have my collection logged here. So I'm going to look at some stuff here as we go. But there was a lot of Ken Griffey Jr. in there, and first one I pulled out was his 91 Classic. I have a lot of Classic cards. It says right here I have exactly 300 different Ken Griffey Jr. cards, but this one I did not have, so I picked it up, and it gets a little hairy there in the early 90s with Classic because there's a lot of Classic 1, Classic 2, different colors, all that stuff. But anyway, thanks to Beckett OPG. This is not an endorsement because you'll probably pull your hair out if you try to get your collection logged in the Beckett OPG. But I will say that thanks to Beckett OPG, I was able to find real quick what I did and didn't have. So this 1991 gem is all mine. Apparently, it's the first time I've ever held a card in my hand. But you can see there, old Junior's got 1 year stats there. Batted 300 in 1990, 22 homers and 80 ribbies, as we used to say. So 6'3", 195 pounds of bones. Next card up is it's no secret that I'm a big fan of the old ball players. And they're kind of the first thing to come to my mind when I see a stack of cards because really enjoy the history of the sport and all that stuff. This is let me see here. It's a 2009 Topps Legend Career Best Legends. This is a George Sisler card. George Sisler, of course, set the record for and held it forever of the most hits in a season. I think that man from Japan broke that record. But I have a lot of George Sisler cards, 13 to be exact. But this is the first 2009 Topps Legends of the Game Career Best. And one thing I like to do as well is kind of find and collect, pick up cards of sets I don't have. And this is the first career best Legends of the Game that I have. I have a few Legends of the Games from the 2009 Topps, but this is the first career best. And I have over, I'm going to say probably close to 5,500 different types, set types at this point. So this is just another one in the, another feather in the cap. 257 hits right there. Most hits in the season. Has all of George Sisler's best stats from throughout his career. Now, if you look over on the other side of my wall, which you can't see right now, you'll see that Connie Mack in the 50s named George Sisler his best first baseman of all time. So definitely the first half of the 20th century, Connie Mack considered, even over his own Jimmy Fox, he considered George Sisler the best of the best. So yeah, that's that. Moving on here, this is a fun little card. Again, type cards that I'm after. Let's see here. Let me see if I can find this here. This is a flashbacks card. I think it's a Heritage, maybe from 2007. I'm going to try to follow along. Again, it's like having a bunch of kids. bringing home a bunch of kids and you don't quite know their names yet. So that's how I feel about some of these sets. So let's see here. 2007 Topps Heritage flashbacks. Red Shading's right there. Red is batting in a Braves outfit, I believe, right? So Red won a World Series with the Braves in '57. So 2007 flashbacks, got all the information on the back there. This is card number FB3. So again, new type card. Never had a 2007 flashbacks. So welcome to the gang there, Red. Appreciate your help. All that fun stuff. Next up is another new addition to my set type collection, and this is also a Topps. So it's the 50th anniversary. Gary Carter. I guess it's the 50th anniversary rookies. Is that right? Let's see here. Let's see if we can find this. I get 153 Gary Carter cards. So sorry if this is a little long, but hey, we're discovering together. Somebody's yelling right now at their dang screen. So let me look at it here. It's 2000. It's the 50th anniversary Topps All-Star Rookie Team. So there's Gary Carter there. Kind of looks like a 1960 type setup there. We remember McCovey kind of had the big yellow and all that stuff. There's the rookie trophy there. 50th anniversary Gary Carter. Montreal Expos Topps All-Star Rookie Catcher. There's the back. Beautiful yellow with white. And it's card AR5. So that's that. Next up is a 1981 Topps Jim Plunkett football card. This is, I believe, the last year of non-licensed cards from the NFL. Of course, Topps had the player's license, but not the NFL's license. And this would also be the year that Jim Plunkett, following the 1980 season, be a Super Bowl champion, beating the Philadelphia Eagles in the New Orleans Silverdome. Jim Plunkett, famous, I believe he was a Native American parents, and I believe both were deaf. So he was a lot was talked about him back in the day for where he came from and how he succeeded and all that stuff. I believe he went to Stanford. Does it say it in there? Yep. Patriots, then the Niners, and then of course a Super Bowl champione with the Oakland Raiders or the LA Raiders, one of those Raiders. I guess it just says Raiders. All right, this is going to come as a big surprise to everybody, but as part of my self-appointed role of getting Steve Garvey cards off the street, I have an Islay. I have an Islay's Steve Garvey card here. So here it is. Hard to believe, but let's look at the back. I have a lot of these discs. Of course, they will say on them somewhere, MSA, Mike Schechter and Associates. That's Islay, Sweet William Family Restaurants as well. 155 locations to serve you. This is a collector's and traders item. So there's the Steve Garvey disc, and it will go in behind some other discs, but I will display it now proudly on the camera because that's one less Garvey out there on the street. So let me take a look here. I think it's a 78, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see here. Interesting. Up, it's a 76 Islay disc, card number 16. So 76. Apologies to all. It's got a big old printing booger on it right there. Of course, these were unlicensed by the league, but they were licensed by the players. And MSA, again, was the licensee of the players for the most part. So if you were just getting a Major League Baseball Players Association license only, Mike Schechter was your go-to guy there. So that's it, 76 Islay. Next card up is a 1959, card number 440. It's Lou Burdett. I am, like most sets, actively working on my 59 top set, but I really am working on my 59 top set. So I got a couple 59s in here. I'll get to them in a bit, but Lou Burdett, good shape, Nice top loader there. Back looks absolutely awesome. Lou Burdett, of course, another champion with the Milwaukee uh, Braves of 1957. Warren Spahn pitched with the guy, and Lou Burdett, also a left-hander. So a lot of lefties going up against. If you're going up against the Braves. Next up will be the 1954 Bowman Don Mueller card. Don Mueller is a New York Giant right here, and I believe he's in the Polo Grounds. Look at that beautiful uniform. Nice little signature down there. I'm a fan of the 54 Bowman, and I'm surprised I didn't have this card because I have a lot of 54 Bowmans. I think I'm about halfway through the set. So creeping out of the top loader due to its 3 5/8, or therefore something like that, 3 5/8 size. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's 3 3/4. Anyway, creeping out of that, dangerously creeping out of that top loader. So we'll get him into a vintage card sleeve and put him in with his new friends over there in the 1954 Bowman swimming pool. Now, my next guy up here. Oh boy, this guy has a record that may get broken someday, but he holds it with his pal Mike Kekich. This is a 71 Fritz Peterson Topps coin, and I have most of the Topps coins from, I believe I have all from 64, and I have most of the ones from 50 or 71. So was surprised to find out of a pile of coins in there one that I needed, and here we go. We have Fritz Peterson. Fritz Peterson and Mike Kekich, of course, traded wives one spring training, and Fritz apparently is still married to the one he swapped to, and Mike Kekich not quite in the same position. Anyway, coin number 138, 71 Topps coins. These guys are tough. These are real metal, real steel, I think, or something. They are magnetic. They do take a charge, as they say. And I imagine a lot of them get rusted out for obvious reasons. But I just picture a lot of kids had these coins in their pockets, and a lot of these things went through laundry machines. So anyway, Fritz and Mike and Fritz, New York Yankees during the Horace Clarke years, and happy to have that coin in my collection. Next up is a 2023 Panini Prism Pete Rose. This is not signed because it's not a Bowman, but it is a 2023 Pete Rose. Look at those glorious Cincinnati Reds old-time button-up home whites with lots of red showing on the stirrups. 2023 Prism. Again, there's Pete in the background again. I imagine it's Crosley Field. But 2023 Prism. Modern, practically shiny card entering my collection. All right, next up is Ernie Lombardi. Ernie Lombardi, you say? Yeah, there is an Ernie Lombardi in my collection, and boy, I have some of them. I have several of them. 60 Fleer, a 85 Sportflix Decade Greats, and a 91 Conlon TSN. But this is some sort of orange wave Aurora Borealis thingamajobber. It's shiny and it's orange and it does all sorts of crazy things when you hold it up to the light. So Ernie Lombardi getting the modern treatment, getting all did up like he just got back from a strip bar. Anyway, he's orange. He's Ernie Lombardi. It says there's only 50 of these, but I don't see this card numbered. Perhaps this old geet is missing something. So that's that. All right, next up, another shiny card. That's a 2023 Prism. Next up is another shiny card. It's Bob Lemon. Bob Lemon, you say, look at that. Silver crackle-lacking stuff, man. This looks like New Jack City. Look at all that crack. And Bob Lemon winding up. He went to war as a mediocre hitter and came back a couple years later as a Hall of Fame pitcher. Yep, look it up. He started out as an outfielder. Dunn went to war and came back and started winning baseball games from the rubber. And now he's crack-a-lacking. Of course, I think he won a World Series with the New York Yankees as well. This is a 2023 Panini Prism white crackle something. So Bob Lemon getting a gussied up treatment. Next up is another Bob, and this is a 2023 Topps Legends of the Game, Bob Gibson, a little shiny rainbow thing going on there. Ooh, look at that. It's crazy, man. It's like a double rainbow. And anyway, they're still calling them legends of the game. All these cards, tops, not original bone in their body at this point, but it is a beautiful card. I like the blue back. I think it's very classy on the back. I can check my teeth at the Texas Roadhouse with this card. Make sure I'm presentable to smile on my way out, but it is a beautiful card, and that's why I chose it, of course. The Bob Gibson 2023 Legends of the Game. Next up, we have the Triple Threads. The Triple Thread, you say. This is a thick arse card, and this is out of 525, apparently. And this is a Topps Triple Threads from 2009. Let's look it up here, folks, before we get too crazy. I don't want anybody running out there and blaming me for getting it wrong. Hank Greenberg. Yep, I said Hank Greenberg. 2009 Triple Thread Sepia out of 525. This is Hank Greenberg. Hank Greenberg, of course, the Hebrew Hammer. Dude was like 6'30" and 250, and still took a lot of gruff from the folks in the gallery as well as people on the field as well. Went to World War II and fought for his nation. Came back. Best years of his career probably thrown away, but war hero, war veteran, an incredible hitter in the 30s. And I had the joy a few weeks ago of getting a message on eBay. I had sold a Hank Greenberg pennant from the 30s, and it was from a gentleman whose grandfather was Hank Greenberg's cousin. He wrote me a nice note. So anyway, Hank Greenberg, welcome to my collection. My earliest Greenberg is a 1960 new card highlights, which are the big boys, and this is my most recent one. So welcome, Hank. All right, let's keep it rolling here. Some more legends. This is a 2001 Fleer Greats. Gaylord Perry. Gaylord Perry, the big windup right there, throwing the sloppy wet one at whomever is back there ready to receive, catcher-wise and hitter and umpire. Now, I'm always fascinated with Gaylord Perry not because of his grease ball, but because of being a member of one of the greatest teams not to win it. I think those early to mid 60s San Francisco Giants, Mays, McCovey, Cepeda, Gaylord Perry, and I'm sure there's more, but boy, those teams were stacked and they didn't go very far. They went to one World Series, I believe. But there's his record throughout his career: Giants, Indians, Rangers, Padres, Rangers, Yankees, Braves, Mariners, Royals. So 314 wins. Thank you, El Slapo, for joining my collection. Next up is another Then and Now. It's a Upper Deck 1992 Then and Now. This is Dave Winfield, the Padres, and he's probably in a Blue Jays uniform there. It's hard to tell. Yeah, it looks like a Blue Jays. Anyway, went to a game in San Diego a few weeks back and saw this hat, and of course I had to have it. And I saw this card pop through, and of course I had to have that card. So kind of reminds me of the Denny's hologram cards, but it's the Then and Now. I have several of these, and I'll have to see who the TN9 Dave Winfield joins back there in the box. So that's that. Next up is History of the Game. Babe Ruth, 1933, first Major League Baseball All-Star game is played. So there's that Babe right there. Any of these old Babe Ruth cards are just absolutely phenomenal, and just a really fun time. Tells us about the 1933 first MLB All-Star game. Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Jimmy Fox, Chuck Klein, Frankie Frisch, and the greatest players of the game all gathered on the same field. The first MLB All-Star game held on July 6, 1933 at Comiskey Park in Chicago featured a multitude of future Hall of Famers. As Lefty Grove of the Yankees outdueled Cardinals ace Bill Hallahan, the Bambino won deep on a 4-2 victory for the American League. I love Babe Ruth cards. But this is about all I can afford, so I'll keep it going. If you've been anywhere the last few weeks, I got to, you know, hang out with a little pinstripe from the New York Yankees. Great Babe Ruth, one of his jerseys from back in the day, was part of a relic card that was in this basement very briefly for a very short amount of time. Next up is a card that you may say, "What are you doing, John Keating?" But I am an unabashed Manchester City United fan, and I don't necessarily go out there and buy a lot of soccer cards, but I do have a few. And I was in Strongsville a few weeks back, or no, I wasn't. I was at my own card show that I held that I promoted a few weeks back, and almost bought some soccer cards out there in the wild. But this one is a Kevin De Bruyne Mosaic 2021, 2020-21 Panini Mosaic Cosmo or Camo Pink. I think it's Camo Pink. Shiny and pink and all that stuff. Kevin De Bruyne, some people would consider him the greatest player in the game right now. The guy can just pass like nobody else, kind of like Messi was 5-10 years ago. He's depicted here in the Red Devils uniform of his home country, Belgium. So one of the confusing things about soccer is there is club football and country football. This is obviously country. So Belgium is one of those countries that, like, kind of like the 60s San Francisco Giants, they had a heck of a lot of talent, but couldn't quite ever do anything with it. So that generation's gone. De Bruyne is getting up there in his 30s. So Belgium with De Bruyne, it's just not going to happen in the future. All right. Next up is a card, another type of card that I did not have. And it is hold on a second. I just want to get this right because I had, like I said, I have the 1960 versions of these, which are massive. But these are the 61 new card scoops. I do have some of these, I think, already. But here's Nellie Fox. This guy's a little bit beat up, but it's perfect for my collection. Card 472 talks about Nellie Fox winning the MVP and in 1958, 59, is it? I guess it's 59. Nellie Fox, of course, Hall of Famer. Again, I have the new card scoops, which are much bigger than this. They're larger than your average bear, and this is a regular size card. So anyway, happy to pick this out, pick this up. 57. Let's talk about 1957, right? It's one of those sets where I am on the fence whether I still like it or not. It's considered to be probably maybe the first beautiful set by Topps with the photography and all that stuff. And I got myself 57 Duke Snyder. Now, this guy, if you think he looks bad on the front, look at the back. This guy was used to, I don't know what he was used to do. Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, but it's mine. And it's my first 1957 Duke Snyder. And it probably looks good with his old teammate right here, the old 63, Sandy Koufax. So just when you think you have it bad, I whip out the 63 Sandy Koufax. So Duke, you're not so bad. I count that as a solid one when I logged it into my collection. So solid one for that. And finally, a 1959 Louis Aparicio All-Star card. Now I like this. I like these All-Star cards. 58 was the first time they did the All-Star cards. 59, I think they really knocked it out of the park. It's it's a beautiful card. It's a nice shield there. I have this one isn't in perfect condition. The back looks pretty cool though, right? Look at Aparicio there. But it's much better than some of the old other 59 All-Star cards I have back there. My mantle looks like it was rode rough and put away wet. And this thing is in much better shape than that, but I really like that design from the 59 All-Star cards. 60 look great too, but 59 has pretty classy stuff from 1959. So yeah, so that's that. Let me make myself big again and get you guys towards the door. Thanks for joining me again. Thanks for letting me participate in this this traveling box thing. My video is probably longer than most because when I turn the microphone on, I just go. So that's the cards. You're not allowed to show the card you sent. So that'll be for somebody else to perhaps broadcast or air their grievances over those. So wonderful time. Jason, thanks again for including me. Thank you, everybody, for stuffing that box with all those goodies. and much appreciated. Again, tickled pink about way things are going in the hobby in certain circles. People just collecting and ingesting cards into their collection without any care or want of impressing anybody else. So thanks again, folks. Thanks for listening. Headed out for a while again. Hopefully we'll see you before we turn to June season, and maybe we can start getting a little bit more regular with the shows I do here. So thanks again. Little Led Zeppelin on your way out, and don't forget to tip your waiters. Waiterses, do not tip the people at 7-Eleven. Good.